It's amazing you haven't been shot yet, James, because you're a wise guy. And
careful, my wife might be listening.
Keep up the great work, James.
I shall do my best, albeit that I have your worries ringing in my ears now as much as your compliments.
Now you're in for a treat, my friends, hopefully. Did this amazing LBC caller beautifully explain the problem with Brexiters? Now, this happened on Tuesday on the James O'Brien Show, where they were still going over the new deal with the UK and the EU, where James O'Brien was talking about why are the gam-gams losing their marbles, so to speak. Well, a caller called Thomas had an interesting theory.
I want to make just two very brief points, sort of linguistic. I'm a philosopher of language, taught at University of Oxford and London, and I think, framing the discourse is central to this, as you rightly know. I want to just stay 1 second with your metaphor of an arson outbreak. I mean, Brexit was an arson attack. We all know that. Anyone that looks at empirical evidence knows that. And there's a phenomena which I'm going to coin a word for, and then I'm going to send it to you. I haven't done it yet, but you may have heard of this, right? So there are places in the world, in America, in some rundown parts of Britain, and even in parts of France, where there's a fire breaks out. Maybe it's arson, maybe it's an accident, and the fire brigade go in, and then the local people gather around and throw bottles and stones and even shoot the fire brigade. It's a particular thing, a sort of arsonists shooting the fire brigade. I'm going to coin a word for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've got here, is Keir Starmer is a moderate, decent, middle-of-the-road kind of guy who's like the fire chief. He's sending in teams to try and fix the fires that have been caused by Brexit. And these right-wing extremists, who are the original arsonists, are now shooting at him. And so that's, just as a metaphor.
Absolutely right. Why are they doing it? Because, I mean, the metaphor falls down slightly, because my theory would be they're doing it because not to do it would be to admit that they started the fire, or even to admit the existence of the fire, which they can't, which isn't quite the role of the arsonist in the actuality, as opposed to in the other side of the metaphor. But so do we know why they're doing it? Just to avoid acknowledging or admitting reality?
Okay, so this is the second part of my thing. I've coined a word, a linguistic explanation. You're right to home in on shame, because that's part of it. They're so ashamed that they've started this fire that they want to shoot the fire brigade to kind of bury the evidence, But I've coined a word which I use as a philosopher, which is Sophiaphobia. Sophiaphobia is a medical condition that is the fear of knowledge, the fear of wisdom.
That's brilliant.
If people suffer from Sophiaphobia, and millions do, sadly, it can happen to institutions. It's a sociological thing. Knowledge is suppressed because it's that, I don't want to know. No, don't tell me that I'll have responsibility.
Good grief.
So I've just finished a commentary. I'm a philosopher of religions. I've just finished a commentary 10 years in the making on the Gospel of Matthew. And, Sophiaphobia is what crucified. I mean, you can see it as the plot line develops in Matthew. You can see it in all the great philosophical and religious texts. So we talk about philosophy, which is the love of wisdom. I have a PhD. I love wisdom. But the counterforce is Sophiaphobia. People hate wisdom, and they kill teachers. It's amazing you haven't been shot yet, James, because you're a wise guy. And
careful, my wife might be listening.
The Sophiaphobes will be coming for you,
Well, I don't think I'm important enough. But
no. Anyway, that's my offer.
I'm not going to let you go. That's brilliant. I've written that down. I've got Sophiaphobia on my list. I'm looking forward to the word that describes the...
I've got a book that I'll send you,
Do. What I want to ask you before you go, though, is something that I picked up again yesterday, and it's very closely linked, I think, to your Sophiaphobia.
Right.
This attempt to claim that educational opportunities are a middle-class obsession.
Oh, my God.
I find that so depressing. The idea that only middle-class people want their children's horizons to be broadened, or want their children to be educated, or want their children to have freedom of mobility. It's a middle-class thing. That is, for an academic like you, that must be a terrible thing to witness.
Well, I mean, I think the attack on the middle class is unconscionable, to use the word you just used. I find myself using that word more and more now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the middle class. We made this country great in its, we were the guys that did the inventions that got ivory tower into the technology that ran the railways and all the rest of it and created the internet. I mean, the middle class in any society at the backbone, the attacks on the middle class come from the elites, the elite toffs that just don't want anybody to be
billionaire
educated.
media owners and the public school educated spivs. Well, the thing that worries me most about it is the message it sends to people about their own children if they're not middle class, is that you shouldn't be aspiring to higher levels of education. You shouldn't be aspiring to qualification. Matthew wants to know what your book is called, Thomas.
It's called Sophia-phobia.
Oh, that's the actual title.
Google it. Yeah, that's the title
Fantastic.
of the book. Yeah, Sophia-phobia.
I look forward to getting hold of that. And thank you for both.
Keep up the great work, James.
I shall do my best, albeit that I have your worries ringing in my ears now as much as your compliments. It is, I'm joking, it is 11 o'clock. You are listening to James O'Brien on LBC. Sophia there we go.
Very interesting theory, yeah? Never heard of the word before, let alone what it means. But it is something to consider, I suppose. You know, we all seem to still find these people who still out there, even today, who still think that Brexit is a fantastic idea, but it just seems to go to a different school, I suppose, and all that. Maybe that's what they're suffering from. Sophia-phobia. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And also, I'll leave a link in the description box below if you want to purchase Thomas Steffen's book as well. And if you want to watch Kamikaze Bad Enough make a complete idiot of herself again, please watch this video here and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.